everyone, this is Elizabeth Stoll, Cottage Caboodle. Come on in. It's good to see you again. You can see my iPad in the shot. I missed that. Good grief. It is what it is today. Everything has taken me like 3 times to try and get things done. So why should this be any different? Why should this be any different? So come on in. Tell me you're here. I'm going to pull it up on my phone. If I were my phone, maybe I'd be somewhere nearby, but maybe not. I just plugged it in. You guys, it's bad. It's really bad. So come on in. Tell me you're here. I see the cord. I don't see the phone. Or do I? No? You guys, this is bad. I'm so sorry. Okay, well, we're going to do it without the phone today. Hi, Barbara. Come on in. It's good to see you. Good to see you. We're going to do just a little painting today. I couldn't really come up with anything that I needed a little break from Easter and spring. I know that sounds awful. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Kim. Welcome. So I thought we would do just some painting. I'm going to do a little seascape. I'm going to just see how that goes, and don't have much of a plan. So everything's going good. Everything's going good. Except, you know, the phone thing. Who knows? I have no idea. I had it plugged in last I remember. So, oh well. Oh well. I know. It's just, it is what it is. Yep, water. Water, water, water. Thank you, Tracy. So we're going to do a seascape today, and where this all came from is I haven't done one in a very long time, actually. And when I first started like travel teaching and doing those kinds of things, I was painting on oyster shells, and Pacific oysters are huge and there's lots of room to paint on them, and it was kind of my thing for a minute, and I've just gotten away from it. And so I thought today we're gonna just paint, and sometimes it's nice to not have to do something. You just get to enjoy it. You just get to kind of play around, and sometimes you get inspired, and sometimes you learn something new, and it just, you know, it's just a good thing. It's just a good thing. So hi, Cruz. Good to see everybody coming on in. So I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I just talked to my husband and I said, well, you get off at 4 today. And he said, no, that would be Friday. Today is Thursday. So everything is craziness. So, but I'm going to turn down the camera so that we have plenty of time, because I probably am going to be doing little elements and hopefully get some things done, but you just never know, because it is, you know, it is painting. The shells are pretty. They're really pretty, and I'll do one maybe on a live, but I hadn't done a seascape. I used to do Santa faces and seascapes on them. So we're going to do a little seascape, and just sounded kind of fun and something different. So I'm going to turn my camera down. And here it is, and it is base coated with chalky paint, and this is in the color Primitive, and it is the Deco Art, and it's really you know, that age-old grayish. It's not gray, it's not beige, it's grayish. And I did base coat it, but it left some lines, so I apologize. Just quickly take that chalk paint down. Now, most chalk paint has a little bit of like plaster Paris type stuff in it, and that's why it covers so well. It's a little bit thicker, and pardon me, it's a very, very old style of paint, and it covers well. It's durable. There's a reason it's been around for so long. So you might be able to see, I put my horizon line. I don't like to put my horizon line right in the middle. This one's slightly above, and I'm going to be doing, I've got kind of a plan, but we're going to do the water and the sky first. And I'm going to take a little bit of winter blue, which is a light, pretty, kind of a grayed blue. And then I'm going to take some Moody Blue, which is a real kind of a turquoisey blue. It's got a yucky top on it, so I'm going to take that away, but there's that color. I'm going to use a little bit of white, Snow White. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mickey. Denise, thanks for sprinkling me out. I so appreciate you. And I'm going to take some of that white. I also want to get the color Stormy. So you can see I'm getting quite a few blues out here. So I've got that one. We'll do a little bit. I don't know if I'll need this, but it never hurts to have it out. Provence Sky, one of my favorite blues. I just think it's a real, just a pretty color. And then I'm going to grab Twilight. Now I thought about using some of the new colors from DecoArt, but I'm not very acquainted with them, and I wanted to do something, since we're limited on time, that I wouldn't feel like I was, you know, real, I don't know, struggling with. Just because I don't know the paint very well, but to play with it, that's how you get to know it, right? So I'm going to take a little bit of Winter Blue on one side of my brush and a little bit of Snow White on the other, and I'm going to start on the sky. And even though we think that the sky is really super blue, it usually, when we look at it, it's often got some green or some purple or whatever in there. So, but this one's going to have this kind of gray. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so in Washington State, it is often kind of a grayed blue. This is a winter kind of a color for the sky, you know, and in Washington, we want you to believe that it rains all the time, even though it doesn't. No, I'm just teasing. Everybody says that, though, so that people don't come and move in, you know. It's already crowded enough, they say, but more the merrier, more the merrier. So I've got just a streaky blue on there. And it's just a light color. I can add color super easy. So I'm not going to worry about it. And my water isn't going to come all the way down to the front here, but I'm going to put in that water in a similar way. But the water is a different color than the sky. Hi, Sharon. Hi. Hello, Linda. Bonnie, hello. 2 Bonnies in a row. Hello, hello. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of Moody Blue, and then I want to pick up a little bit of Stormy. I don't know how this is going to work because I've not mixed those yet. That's kind of pretty. So Moody Blue and Stormy. We'll go off the edges. I'm getting dry. So just a little bit of those 2 colors. And there's my horizon. So we go out to the beach a lot, and we live right near Puget Sound. It's just down the hill, and we spend a lot of time walking the beach and stuff, and walking the dogs on the waterfront. This is a practice board. This is just an Amazon 10 by 10 board, and as you can see, I'm holding the corner down, and it is as curved as they come for a board. But it's fun to use these when you're just kind of practicing something, or you're trying something new, or you're getting, like I am, reacquainted with something. So, hi, Bonnie from snowy Wyoming. Yes, clamming. We go clamming a lot and enjoy it. And we take our 2 dogs and our 5th wheel and hit the road. And I'm telling you, though, during pandemic, we could go. There's one campground that's privately owned that we go to quite a bit, and she knew us. She could only have half capacity, and the the local town asked that we didn't, that we brought in our own groceries and stuff so that they wouldn't have a lot of people from all over. And there wasn't a lot of us. You could only be and that was after things had been kind of loosened up a little bit. But I'm telling you, it was so nice to be able to get out and see just different things, rather than be cooped up. So I'm going to slide in just a skosh. So with this, I'm going to go in with some white, and I'm just tapping it on my palette. I'm going to also take a little bit of just some winter blue, and I'm just going to streak it over and see what I can get out of here. I can get frustrated because I don't have enough water in there. So we're just going to streak in some. We can always streak more. Now, I have a friend who does a lot of seascapes, and I love his wet water. Now, if you're a painter, wet water is hard to do, and his is always, always wet. And he told me, and I haven't tried it since he told me, but he told me that he likes to go in wide X's. And I think I need practice. But he just does that and then blends it. And he says, look at that. Oh my gosh. Do you see that? I thought I had had the epic fail. But look at, there's waves. I'm going to get it so it's not. Do you see that? Isn't that cool? So, Thanks, Marco. So, I guess I'm going to have to take a class with him. But that does make it so that it's much better than going straight across. So now our sky is probably dry. I'm going to give this a little bit of love. Just to warm up that board. And then I'm going to take a lot of water and a little bit of paint, and I'm going to go into I'm going to try Provence Sky, and then I'm going to just tip into a little bit of that Stormy, and that'll carry it through maybe from the bottom to the top. But I do want this horizon line to be slightly darker. So I've got paint on half of my brush, and I'm just going to work it up. So it's on the side that's down closest to the water, and you can't really tell. You can't really tell, but it will dry and we'll know it's there. So there's that. And we might have to hit it. The way I paint is with layers and layers and layers. So isn't that cool? Hi, Vanessa. I hope you're feeling better, friend. Hi, Sissy. Oh yeah, we are super close. We are, well, not the ocean. We're on Puget Sound. Literally, it's right down the hill. It's less than 2 miles, and we don't walk that way because it is a hill. It is a hill. So, because we're at almost 1,000 feet, almost, but we're only about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from, you do the math, it's a steep hill. So we go down there and walk the dogs and stuff, but yeah. I'm going to grab some of that Twilight, and it's got a lot of purple in it, and I'm going to take my brush on just the chisel, because often there's reflective color in that horizon. And that's what we're going to do right there. And then I'm going to get ready to do a few little clouds, but I need that dry, and I need a special brush that I like for clouds. I don't use a lot of special brushes. I use a brand of brushes that I like, but I don't use a lot of special brushes. So, but when you need to fix something, yeah. It is water. Oh, we have big water around here. Yeah. You're gonna have to come visit, little miss. It is, we always had a boat when I was growing up, and I just scratched off some of my paint. That was not very good. And so I grew up on the water and stuff. But some of you may have heard that I am not a fan of orcas. Now, I am a fan of whales, and including those whales. However, the orcas around here, I grew up on the water in a boat and all the things. And do you think I've ever seen one in the wild? Nope, not one. And I swear to you that they just see me coming and walking on the, with the dogs and Shane and stuff, and they just take their little flipper and they flip it all right. And ha ha ha, there she goes again, and she didn't see us. I swear to you, because we'll get home and something will be on the news. Oh, the J-pod was spotted, blah, blah, blah. And it's right where we could have seen it. And so the whales are mean to me. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Verdi. You hear a door. Shane, it's Thursday, Vanessa says. He's going to say something about Mrs. Clackens. She must be feeling better. So I'm just taking and putting on a little bit of clouds, just little billowy, soft clouds. I don't want storm clouds. I'm kind of an eternal optimist. I don't like to have, I'd rather be a Pollyanna. So we're just going to kind of put in, and I'm just taking that clean edge of my brush. I've got paint on one side of it, and I'm taking that clean edge and kind of blending it. And if I want to strengthen those, then I can go back and add some paint. But I've got some, oops, the lighting is really, there it's going. So pretty good, pretty good. But I can always come in and put some more color in there. And even if you wanted to have your clouds pop forward a little bit, if you take some of the darker color and put it behind the cloud, it's going to make that white pop forward. And so that's just something that I will go back in and add a little bit more. We're going to have a peninsula coming out here, and it's going to have a lighthouse on it. So I need to cut that in, and I'm going to get out a brown, and then I'm going to get out kind of a lighter brown. Or maybe I'm not. No, I am. It's here because I was using it just a little while ago when I was on before. Okay, a little bit of milk chocolate. So I have burnt umber, milk chocolate. I've got some white out. I'm going to take a little bit of, I want greens too. I'm going to take a little bit of plantation, a little bit of black forest, a little bit of Hauser medium, and we'll see how we go from there. I always forget that this black forest green does not have a hinge any longer on the paint, so I have to put the lid on. Okay, and then we're going to get some Hauser medium, which is kind of a medium green, and a little bit of a light green, which I'm going to use foliage. Don't have a lot of that left, but when Shane goes to Pinecraft tomorrow, I'll have some. Oh, thanks, Linda. What kind of paint? I'm using Deco Art, just plain Deco Art. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. You're so sweet. Hi, Glenda. Oh, thank you, Susan. It's a little bit, hi, Anita. It's a little bit of practice, you guys. I'm not going to lie. It's not something that I was born doing. It was something that I didn't always be able to sit down in front of someone and say, oh, I think I'm going to do a seascape today. Because that's not the way it is, So I'm just going to come above my horizon line and just kind of cut in. Oh, I picked up a little bit of white accidentally. That's okay. And I'm just going to kind of cut that in. Pick up some different ones. I just want some of that in there. So started painting when I was 5, and my mom got me, I used to apparently paint along with PBS, whoever was on, and usually Bob Ross or somebody like that. And so she got me oil paint. Now, it tells you something about my mom if she's buying a 5-year-old oil paints, but I had oil paints. And so I would paint along, and then I would go and hide the pieces because she would make a big deal out of it, and I hated that. I hated it. And so we found them when we went to move her out of her house years later, and kind of funny. So, and she and I took our first painting class, or toll painting, decorative painting together, and she was left-handed, so she would sit across from me, and it helped her to learn to see someone across from her doing it. So that's not perfect, but we are going to let that little cliff kind of sit there for a minute, and I'm going to put a little more curve to it. I don't want it too much bigger, but I do want it a little more curved. So I'm just going to put in some darks and put that shape that I want in there. And in the end, it's not going to show all that much anyway. So now we need to get some, greens on there. And I always start from the back and work my way forward. Oh, thank you, Cheryl. You're the sweetest. She was proud of me. My mom, though, what you have to understand is, and I'm not saying this for any other reason than to help you understand why probably I was having some angst about it. My mom was bipolar, and then in the end became schizophrenic, and she was never medicated. And so being someone who, as a kid, you don't want that kind of attention, and she was a big personality wherever she went. And so for me to be the center of that whole thing was frustrating, and I think scary, honestly, because it was always, something. It was never subtle. It was always a big deal. And I loved my mom, but that's the reality of it. So, and I'm not saying that I'm damaged or anything like that because of it, but it did cause me to hide my work for sure. So I'm just putting in some contrast. The contrast is what gives it dimension. So if I would have just painted this one color of green, it wouldn't look like it had some underbrush and stuff. So that is why that's there. And we're going to put a little, well, we could put a lighthouse, but I kind of think, not sure on that one. Not sure on that one yet. I do want to put, some grasses and things like that in. I'm going to put a little bit of color in there with some flowers. And how are we doing? We're doing good on time. And let's see here. So let's go back and do a little bit on the water now that we're down to this area. So I can take and put a little bit of that winter blue and that moody blue. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of white. And I can just kind of make some that kind of water that is just going up above where that little peninsula is. And then I can take, let's see here, I've got some opportunities on this surf here, and got to take a little bit of advantage of it. I see a curl here. See how that's kind of shadowed behind it and stuff. So I'm just going to take this, too much. There we go. A little bit of water. And I don't want to come in heavy. And then I can just start that little, where that roller is kind of coming in. And then once you do a couple of those, you can very easily get that whole kind of surf thing going, you know. So it's a process. You know, you work from the back forward, and then you can start adding color. So I want to do a little bit. I want to do a little bit in the front here. We want to do just some ground here, and I want it to be, I want it to kind of come down. Yeah. Okay, so had to talk it through. I know it sounded like I was talking to you, but surprise, it's me. So I'm going to just come down with the ground right in here. So I'm thinking that we are not on a cliff necessarily, but we're up above a little bit, and we could always put a path in or something like that. So I'm just picking up some greens. I don't want this to be any crazy, you know, color necessarily. I just want some browns and some greens, and we'll call that a day. So just a little bit of brown. And it's just a matter of playing. So oils, don't like them. They're not for me. I ended up, I took oil classes in middle school and then again in high school. And I took kind of an overview of painting when I was going to community college and stuff, and before I transferred to the university. And it just felt stiff, and it wasn't, you know, the oils just weren't my thing. And then I took a class in watercolor, and you know, oils make you wait so long for them to dry, or did then. I know they're different now. And then you end up with watercolor that you can't control that sometimes for anything, or I couldn't. And that was frustrating to me. So I feel like Goldilocks, because when I found acrylics, then I found just right, because I could get the same effects as some of the watercolor and the oil that I had practiced, but you know, it was not nearly as intense. Thanks, Lulu. I appreciate you. So we've got a little bit of a peninsula going. We've got some water started. We've got some dripping on here. We've got some clouds started. We've got a whole lot of things started. So my idea is that I will be I will be bringing this back. There's some things that you just can't do in 45 minutes. You can get a little bite of it, but you can't do the whole thing. And so that's kind of where we're at with that. But we'll get it. We'll get it. I don't think it'll take much longer than that. But what I want to do over here then is just take some of those lighter browns that I have, and I've got this brush, and it's got curved bristles. So that's the perfect shape for coming in here and putting in some lighter areas. I've got too much water in here. And just, I don't mind if it gets up here on the greenery, because that greenery is going to have brown showing through it and stuff. So that's always okay by me. The clouds, let's go back. I need to watch my time. 15 minutes. So I'm going to just strengthen up, not every cloud, not every one. I'm just going to strengthen up some of them, and maybe put in some extras that are a little bit brighter. So I'm not going over everything that I put in. I'm going over some of it, maybe even most of it, but I'm not going over all of it. And I want it to show up, but I don't want it to be hard lines. So I want it to look like nice, fluffy, billowy clouds. And I think I'm doing all right on that part. So that part's good. So now we can come down here, and I think I can take this and just come across like so. And then I'll take and put a little bit of stronger paint. And just brush it that way. Then I'll take and make some of that kind of foam that happens. Boy, there was foam last weekend when we were clam digging, for sure. And then, you know, sometimes there's just little waves that are coming in and out. And this is a little inlet. So we're starting to have it. And just little. It's not a stormy day. It's just a little bit of a cloudy day. But it's really relaxing, even when, you know, what's the worst that can happen with this? The worst that can happen is I don't like it, and I've got a cruddy piece of wood that's all warped that I pitch, you know? It's not going to be a tragedy no matter how you look at it. And it's just paint. I can paint over it and it'll be fine. It's just not, it's not something to get all, you know, all worked up over. So I just work that color up slowly. So we've got a pretty good start here. Let me show you. Now I want a sandy path, and that means I need to have, I've got some browns, but I need something that's going to be a little bit on the gray side. And so I'm going to take a little bit of a light gray and a little bit of a dark gray, and I'll use those browns, and we're going to make kind of a sandy color. I've got this one. There we go. And so what I'm thinking is I want this to look like a path coming from the beach over here. So I'm going to take a little bit of, I got the color out Portobello, and it's kind of a khaki color, and I'm going to take a little bit of gray sky, a light brown or a light gray, and too much. So I touch my paper towel, and then I'm just going to get a little bit broader as I come down. Just like that. And we'll let that dry, and then we'll put some more into it. We're going to have that kind of curve around. So there we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Now, before I go too far on this foreground, I do want it to have like an old fence. So Vanessa, who I think she's probably gone by now, but we met through our business coaching group, and we would meet at that time. We would meet for meetings over on the East Coast at the Outer Banks, and we don't have this where I'm at, but over there, up by the paths to the beach, there's these little rickety kind of fences, and I love those. We don't have them. And I understand it's to keep the snakes off the path. I don't know if they were funning me or what, but I didn't stick around to find out. I just would go down to the beach. And they were probably there too, but oh. And I'm going to make this look like it's fading off down to the beach that way. You know, it doesn't have to be real. It just has to be believable. And I'm going to put a little bit more of that white, a little more here. And if I've got some contrast, meaning I've got darks and lights, I'm going to give this dimension. So no more will my waves look flat if I put the dark next to the light. And so that's what gives it some dimension. And I can pull some of those waves forward by just taking that forward part and highlighting it a little bit so that it comes forward. Now, you can do things to make it reseed and all of that stuff, but that's where we're going so far. I appreciate you, Cheryl. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Linda. Some would say it's probably scary. Hi, Jamie. Thanks for being here, friend. Romans 12. You guys, if you see a follow button with some of my friends here from Craft Round the Clock, please consider giving them a follow, because they are working really hard, super creative people who do really nice stuff. And that is a great way to thank anyone who is on Craft Round the Clock. And if you're coming in through my page, good grief. If you're coming in through my page, I would love it if you went over and followed Craft Around the Clock if you're not already. And it's a great place to be. Tomorrow is a special event. I am not in that one yet. If there's an opening, who knows? I'm going to take some brown and just kind of streak it on the side here. There's a special event tomorrow, and it is bags, buttons, and baskets. So there's going to be people inspired by those things sharing ideas around that theme. And if you've watched me, it really is fun, and it's a great opportunity to use some things that you maybe didn't think about, you know, and it's fun to see what everybody comes up with. So I'm using my favorite mop brush, which is my middle finger on my right hand, and just kind of blending that out a little bit. So I've got that started. How are we doing? We've got 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Twice in one day, Nancy. Yes, I hope it's a treat. I hope it is. I hope, hope, hope. So, now these little pickets are dry. And so I can take my little brush here that I've got very little water in, start at the top with white, and just streak on those posts. So now I've got the contrast of the top part, and then I've got the darker part where it goes into the grasses and stuff. Because we're going to put some stuff down there too. But you probably knew that. You probably did. And we'll just take that down there. But okay. So this is on a hillside. And when it's on a hillside, we need to make sure that that hillside is curving over. And so we're going to do that right now. It should be dry enough. I'm going to take a little bit of my dark brown, but I also want to take a little bit of my dark green. So it's kind of a greenish brown, a dirty green, dirty brown, I don't know. And what I'm going to do is take and shade this little speck of hill so that it will fall over the edge and look like it's downhill. I also want to do that same thing against the path because it's cresting right there. And I like a little bit of that green in there. So now my hill and my path look like they're going over. It looks downhill now because my fence is getting smaller. This is rolling over, and everything, all is right with the world. So I'm going to take, as long as I've got that little kind of brown-green mix in here, I'm going to take and just smudge some of that up over here because I might need that. You never know. And it can't hurt anything. So there we go. How are we doing? We have 5 minutes. Okay, so still not real happy with my waves. So I'm going to get a stiff brush. And I'm going to stipple a little bit just to get some of that bright kind of spray going. And I'm going to go do the same thing over here. Now, less is more because you want it to kind of, you want to show where it's getting all of that, and you know, where the energy comes from and stuff with the waves, but you also don't want it to be something that there's so much of it that you lose everything in translation. So one thing that I like to do when I've got waves about like this is to put some rocks in. So I can take a little bit of brown. I have the light and the dark brown in one little brush. I've got the water, and then I can poke in some of those rocks that are just right off the little coastline there. And it's harder to get those in when you are, I mean, if you wanted to get the waves in with the rocks in there, it would be tough, you know, because you'd have to go around them. So I'm going to go at the bottom of them because they probably have algae and all kinds of stuff there. We have a pretty wicked rough coastline. And I want some more browns. You could do these if you like, you know, the grays and stuff. You could do them in that. But the whole idea is that you just kind of, you know, you can use pictures, but, you know, sometimes the best pictures are the ones that are in our heads, in our noggins. And the other place that we want a little bit of rocks is maybe up in here. So you can wiggle in some little stones, maybe around the path line. Might go into, you know, just pop into some of the other colors, and before you know it, you've got these little stones that are just so random and fun. But because we've seen stones before, because we've experienced that before, it doesn't take, you know, we don't have to think about what that is. We know that that's a little bit of rock there. It's good to see everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I can't see numbers. I'm not even certain that I'm seeing all of the comments. So, I don't know. Kind of in the dark. I'm kind of in the dark with that, I'm telling you. So if it goes over 100, which I don't think it will, usually in the afternoon, it's people are having dinner and all that. For me, it's not late, but I know for some of you, it is dinner time and stuff. So I'm just putting in a little bit of those rocks. I've got 2 minutes, and I want that to look like there's little grasses coming out of there. I can tuck in some of those here, just here and there. And we'll finish up this. I know for a fact that I'm on next Thursday, and so we can finish this up. So watch for me. I also have a calendar that I put up every Sunday or Monday, depending, and we can work on this again. But that's what we've got so far, you guys. So perfect. 56. Thanks, Bonnie. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Denise. Oh, thank you, Tammy. Thank you. Thank you. So it's just fun to kind of play around and, you know, not get too stressed out about stuff and give it a shot. So we're going to put something here. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a house. I don't know what it's going to be, or a lighthouse or something. Something's going to go there. And I'll put a little bit more of that. We'll put a little bit more of the things in here. And sometimes it takes some playing with those waves in order to get it to be where you want. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. I would love it if you would go out, refresh, and come back in and watch the next presenter. I do not know who that is because I did not look. I am so bad at that, and I wish I was better. So please go out, refresh, come back in and see the next presenter. I know it's going to be wonderful. Hi, Susan. Welcome, welcome. Oh, thanks, Vanessa. Okay, you guys, I will see you soon. This is Lizbeth Stoll, Cottage Caboodle. See you soon. Thanks.